before we start?
Chair, we just give it about 1 minute. We're pressing the start recording, and then I think that Candice them did say they are ready 3 minutes ago. But I think we can go ahead, yes.
Ms. Mares, if you could just confirm whether we're online and streaming.
Good morning, Chair. We are live.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Colleagues, welcome. Today we are dealing with the Budget Committee. My name is Deirdre Bartman. I'm Chair of the committee. Today we'll be dealing with the consideration adoption of the draft committee report on the final mandate of the revision of Revenue Bill B6/2022 NCOP. We'll be considering minutes of 22 April, as well as 2 quarterly reports and the annual activity report. And then I have some short feedback for the committee at the end of the meeting as well. Colleagues, if you could just please introduce yourselves, and then we're going to jump straight into the first matter of the day. Thank you.
Morning, Chairperson, and to the rest of the committee members. Lulama Mvimbi.
Morning.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning to all the members. Halil Bankes.
Morning.
Good morning, Chairperson Ricardo Mackenzie.
Morning.
Good morning, Chairperson and colleagues. Derek America, alternate, standing in for one of the permanent members, Ms. Philander. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We've also received the apology from Member Bosman specifically as well. Thank you so much. Ms. Kamish Ahmad, what I'll do now is I will ask that, did the NCOP give us any feedback in terms of whether they're changing the bill?
Chairperson, the negotiating mandate minutes was sent to the members, and reading through that, they have just considered everyone. There was support for all, the 8 provinces supported, and there was no non-support, but there was I'm not sure if all the members has read through the minutes that they received 2 days ago.
Yes, we just want to know whether the bill has been changed.
No, Chairperson.
Thank you. I always take it that members have read the information that they receive back from the resolutions from it. So in terms of final mandates, we only need to go through the full bill again if there's been a change to the bill. Colleagues, given that there's been no changes to the bill, I wanted to find out whether there are any views on the bill. Has your view stayed the same? Has it changed? If I could get views on that today, please. I see Member Mackenzie's hand.
Chairperson, my view stays the same. Thank you.
Okay. Any other views? Member Mvimbi?
Yes, Chairperson. I think because of connectivity last time, I could not be present until the end of the meeting. Just want to indicate that on behalf of the ANC, we support the bill.
Okay, no problem. Member America?
Chair, having gone through the minutes, I'm of the view that the mandate of the Western Cape delegation to the NCOP, I am fully in concurrence with that, and I support the mandate of the Western Cape delegation.
Okay, thank you so much. Member Brankhuis?
Thank you very much, Chair. Yes, like I mentioned previously, my apology. My views stay the same, and yes, I'm in support of the bill. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you so much. And just for the record, I support the previous mandate of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament and delegation that we do not support the bill. Ms. Kamish Ahmad, could you please put up the draft for the final mandate so that we're able to capture those particular views? Ms. Kamish Ahmad?
Chair, yes. Sorry,
Oh,
just give me a second.
thank
There's
you.
a bit of a delay now in the email.
No problem, thank you. Okay, you just have to be a little bit bigger for me, please. There we go. Okay, so you can take the word draft out. And at the second paragraph, the to support and the dash out. Authority to not support. So it's just an extra two, sorry. Apologies for that. And then the minority view, if any, can be taken out. Okay, just the party names there. You can just take the not support out. Perfect. Thank you so much. Colleagues, if I could get an indication whether this is a correct reflection of the decision taken by the committee.
Yes, it is, Chairperson.
Thank you, Member Wimby. Can I get a seconder whether this is a correct reflection taken by the committee?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The report is so adopted. Colleagues, we will now go over to the reports of the committee.
Chair, we're just going to give Masently a moment just to swap over to share.
No problem.
Masently, you there?
Thank you so much. Okay, colleagues, this is the minutes of the meeting of 22 April. Let's consider page 1. Okay, page 2. Okay, page 3. Colleagues, if I could get a mover for the minutes.
Chairperson, I propose that we move. This is a true reflection.
Thank you so much. If I could get a seconder for the minutes, please.
Seconded, Chairperson.
Thank you so much. The minutes are so adopted. Let's go to the next document. I think this is still the 22nd, yeah.
So the next one is the
Quarterly report.
The quarterly. October to
report.
December,
Okay.
yeah.
There it is. Can you see this one?
Not yet. I'm just going to give it a second or so.
I'll share it again. Can you see?
Not yet.
So
Otherwise, Ms. Kamish Ahmed, if you're able to share it for us, please.
Chair Wasima. Don't want.
Thank you. We can just make it a little bit bigger. Perfect. Colleagues, this is the October to December report. Let's go to page 1. Okay, page 2.
Page 2.
Page 3. You'll see the meetings from November. Okay, page 4. You will see their meetings from December. Go down. Are we on page 6 already? Okay. Page 6. Don't jump between the pages. Let's do one at a time. Thank you. Page 7.
No, it's page 7 doesn't show.
Okay, that's just the legislation we dealt with. Okay, you can just stop there for the members, just so they see. That's when we started organizing the budget workshop. We went over budget and Parliament allocated us more money. So you'll see that in the next report as well, where Parliament allocated us more money to do the budget workshop. Colleagues, Ms. Wash, thank you. Let's start at the top, yes. Page 12, go down. Page 13, okay, next page. Page 14, some of those you'll see we've already concluded as part of the budget workshop. You can go down. Okay, you're going a little bit fast. Let's go back up to the previous page.
Okay, Chair, just give me 2 seconds.
Because otherwise members can't see and we're not able to give them feedback. Okay. So the conditional grant and equitable share allocation we dealt with as part of the budget workshop, but for this report, it was remained open. Let's go down.
Mhm.
Okay, you can go down. Those are all completed. Okay, you can go down. In that particular one, we did invite the Children's Commissioner. Unfortunately, she fell ill during the week of the Budget Committee workshop, but we have resolved this year already to re-invite her to our future engagements. Let's go down. Okay, and that is the end of the quarterly report. Colleagues, if I could get a mover for the report, if there are no edits.
Chairperson, I propose we move.
Thank you, Member Mackenzie. Could I get a seconder for the report?
I second the Chairperson, Member Brankhuis.
Thank you, Member Brankhuis. The report is so adopted. Could we please have the second quarterly report?
Now, Cynthia, you're going to try to
Gonna try to
generate
share it.
just do it. Nothing yet. Just please. Okay. That. Yes, we
This
can
one.
see.
Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Okay.
Okay, let's start at page 1. Okay, page 2. Okay, those are the meetings in January that related to the Money Bills workshop. Let's go down. Next page. Next page. That's all the workshop. March again with the budget cycle. Page 5. Page 6. Okay, page 7. That's just the legislation. Okay, page 8. And there you'll see, colleagues, we spent at the end, the draft quarterly report, end of March, the Budget Committee spent 221,000, and that includes the additional money we received from Provincial Parliament in order to do the workshop. Thank you so much. Page 9. Page 10. And there you will see the extra costs at the marketing, for example, that was relating to legislation also. You can go down. Catering was also relating to the workshop. You can go down. There you will see the extra money that was allocated to the accommodation and travel and goods and services. You can go down. Okay, you can go down. Next page. Okay, page 13. Okay, some of those have been resolved in terms of them sending us the respective information. Let's go down, page 14. That has been distributed. The committee did strategize regarding some of the public participation at the previous workshop. You can go down. Okay, we have invited the National Treasury and they did do the briefing. Let's go down. Okay, page 17. Page 18. Okay, that is similar to the previous resolution, and we did complete that one in terms of we will be inviting her again as she did for all. Go down to page 19. Yeah, these are all the resolutions from the budget workshop. And some of them we have already started receiving answers on, and which we'll see in the next quarterly report then. Page 20. 21. Okay, 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. And 30. So you'll notice that the bottom resolutions are all those from the workshop. Colleagues, if I could get a mover for the report if there are no edits.
Thank you, Chairperson. I move.
Thank you, Member McKenzie. Could I get a seconder, please?
Seconded, Chairperson.
Thank you, Member Mvimbi. The report is so adopted. If we could please have the next report up, which is the annual activities. Thank you so much. This is our annual activities report. Let's start at page 1. Okay, page 2. Page 3. Okay. Colleagues, if there are no edits, if I could have a mover for the annual activities report.
I move, Chairperson.
Thank you, Member McKenzie. If I could have a seconder for the annual activities report.
A second, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Member Mvimbi. The report is so adopted. Ms. Kamish Ahmed, I just want to check those are all the reports we are supposed to adopt today.
That's right, Chairperson. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I then just quickly want to give the members some feedback on the money bills process before we conclude the meeting. I met with Advocate Leroux, one of the legal advisors within WCPP, in order to discuss how the procedural hub can assist us as a committee regarding the respective bill. Okay, the first point is they suggested that drafting will take a year. I disagreed, having previously been involved in drafting legislation in a previous lifetime. I suggested that with the experts that we've already resolved that we're going to be having a panel, that this could be brought down to 6 months. Given also that a lot of these clauses are things we would already see, for example, and that we cannot change. These are, for example, the norms and standards. There's no reason that we can't finish the initial first drafting of the bill by the end of this year, which would bring it to about 7 months of drafting. So the aim would then be to complete drafting by the last sitting of this year, which is 2022, and then for introduction to occur in January 2023. We agreed that processing should take approximately between 6 and 8 months, but we agreed upon 8 months, which would include public hearings. That would bring us to approximately August, September 2023. And then we would have to, as a committee, consider possibly including a clause for allowing Parliament to have some time before implementation, just so that it isn't adopting a bill, adopting an act, and all of a sudden money needs to be made available that wasn't planned for. But that is something the committee can consider when engaging within the actual drafting of the bill. So that is the suggestion, that as a committee that we agreed then to 6 months of drafting, more or less until the end of December this year, and that we give ourselves 8 months for processing, and that we aim to conclude the processing of this bill by approximately September next year, 2023. Further, we discussed that it is the intent of the committee to pass this bill during this term. Further, I briefed the advocate on the resolution that the committee took on wanting the expert panel, and this in particular is also to assist the committee on policy decisions. Some of the experts we may not need to even remunerate. For example, if one gets a retired judge to help on such a panel, they in terms of law don't require extra remuneration because they can't have, for example, that extra salaried job and so on. But that this expert panel with the legal unit of WCPP will then working hand in hand in order to assist us with some of the policy questions that we require. Further, I discussed with him the possibility of, should the committee not want a set budget office, if the committee wanted to in the future, for example, procure for expertise to help with analyzing money bills, how would that occur? And there are different options for the committee to consider. For example, if we don't have a memorandum of understanding with a particular person or institution, then each time the committee requires expertise, it could allow for example, going out on procurement each time, as well as then we would have to ask WCPP to assist with a policy and SOP for committees on how to deal with such procedures. The other recommendation that we discussed is the possibility of going into an agreement possibly with the Financial and Fiscal Commission and ask them, for example, to be the institution that advises us and gives us the particular expertise for a number of years each time, because it is already their constitutional mandate that if a province requires advice on money bills and things like that, that they must give advice. So there are constitutional provisions. However, we are cognizant that the FFC gets their money from national government directly, and they may lack in some financial resources to also help provinces on extra matters. So that is where the option of a memorandum of understanding or agreement comes in, where we say, okay, what would it cost extra to fulfill this particular role that we are requesting? So that is an option for the committee to consider as well. Further, the next thing we discussed was the fact that he who introduces cannot be he who processes. So therefore, the recommendation obviously is that the budget committee drafts the bill, because we are going to be the committee that deals with the bill over the respective years, and that the finance committee then processes the bill, so that he who drafts is not the judge of the bill as well. Further, instead of dealing with the entire money bills process, we discussed the fact that an amendment procedure bill is different to a full money bills budget cycle review, and the suggestion is that as the budget committee we don't need to decide either or, but we separate the two processes. So you separate the fact that you need a money bills amendment procedure, which is in order to give you the power to change a budget, for example, and you separate that to the review of the budget cycle process, which we have already started. And then further, I discussed with him a possibility that in June or July, that the committee then meets with the expert panel that was procured by WCBP as well as the legal unit, so that this summary that I'm giving you today, that they can go into more detail with the committee members as to each particular process, and that members can take this conversation then back to their political parties and have a conversation about all of these things. And perhaps similar to the previous workshop, political parties can then come and give feedback on how they feel on some of these particular matters. But then if the expert panel is already procured then for June, July for us, it will be easier for us to sit with the panel in person, maybe at Parliament in a similar workshop fashion with the legal unit, and go through these particular points of processing, of timelines, of which committee introduces all of those particular details in person, and so that we can try and iron out from the feedback from our organizations what specifically we would like to see. And we can also then give the panel and the unit advice and a framework as to what are the values and what are the things we would like to see in a first draft. I'm going to take some input on this now, members. Member Mackenzie, I see your hand.
Thank you, Chairperson. Can you email this to us, please?
No problem. It will be a summary of my conversation with Advocate Leroux. And the aim is that this feedback that I'm giving you today, that we're able to unpack it with the experts and the legal unit within either June or July in a much more detailed fashion. Would that be in order?
Perfect. Thank you. I support.
No problem. Thank you so much. So colleagues, I will then email you a summary of the things that we would need to consider. I will then also ask the procedural officer, now that the resolution has been made and now that I've been able to meet with Advocate Leroux, that I'm going to ask SEM to get onto this ASAP, so that by June, July we have our panel, so that by the time that the constituency period ends and our new term starts, that we're able to really get into the nuts and the bolts of this particular matter. Colleagues, if there's anything else that people would like to raise now. If none, then I would like to thank you for this morning. I know it's been quite a number of reports, but I hope you have a wonderful day further. I know it's raining in some parts of the Western Cape. It's raining here by me, so please stay safe and stay warm. I hope you have a lovely day further. Goodbye.
Thank you, Chairperson.
The meeting's adjourned.
Okay, you too.